Welcome to the Ballistic Report. I am your talented host, Ike Moore, and I know what you're thinking. Where's the applause? Well, this isn't your average edition of the Ballistic Report. This week, we are breaking down the 2015 BET Awards. Now, I know what you're thinking. Haven't you already torn it apart in your previous commentaries? Well, I'm going to lay low on that right now because the show is this Sunday and I'm expecting big things. So this week's show, I'm going to be giving you guys my favorite hosts, my favorite musical performances from a Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, and my favorite most talked about moment in the history of the BET Awards. We're also going to preview some of the people you can expect on this year's show. So, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Now, when it comes to the Lifetime Achievement Award, we've had them all. Patti LaBelle, Lionel Richie, Earth, Wind & Fire, the list goes on and on. But I'd have to say my favorite Lifetime Achievement Award was given to Charlie Wilson at the 2013 BET Awards. Now, first things first, do not adjust your television set. Justin Timberlake is on stage at the BET Awards. I had to double take myself. This was a perfect performance. You had Uncle Charlie, Uncle Snoop, Pharrell, Justin all jamming on the stage. It got the whole audience lit up. 2 Chainz was two-stepping. Kevin Hart was going crazy. It was going nuts in there. And I can't think of a previous Lifetime Achievement Award that had that many people that excited. So that's my favorite. I loved when they did that. That was just I haven't seen a Lifetime Achievement Award top since. Now, this year's Lifetime Achievement Award will be given to none other than Smokey Robinson, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I've always loved Smokey Robinson. To me, he has a great demeanor about him. He makes some of the most perfect love music you could ever listen to, and I'm looking forward to seeing who honors him, who performs. If I had to guess, I'd like to see Alicia Keys. I'd like to see, a lot of them. Maybe John Legend show up. I'd like to see a lot of great singers pay tribute to him because he deserves it. Now, when it comes to most talked about moments at the BET Awards, I can't think of one more memorable than in 2011 when Kevin Hart introduced the Real Husbands of Hollywood to the world. A lot of people don't remember when he hosted in 2011, this was supposed to be a sketch. This wasn't supposed to be anything big. It was something for fun. It had Bobby Brown, Jermaine Dupri, Nelly was in there. It was just something for fun for the awards. Then when this aired, everybody started going nuts. They wanted to see this show in action, and BET listened. In January 2013, The Real Husbands of Hollywood debuted on BET, and it hasn't looked back ever since. So that's my favorite moment because the demand was so strong that it became an actual show, and I don't think anyone was expecting that. Now, if I'm a betting man, I think this year's most talked about moment will be the Janet Jackson tribute. She's receiving the first ever Ultimate Icon Award, and I can't think of a more appropriate time. She's going back on the road. She's got a new song out, so this is the perfect time to honor her. Ciara will be performing for her. Jason Derulo will be performing for her, and I believe Tanaje will. I think that's how you say her name. So it should be a good moment. She's been in the game far too long for her not to have an honor, so this should be cool. Alright, I have a confession to make. I'm gonna cheat on this next one. Oh, come on, you can't get mad at me at that. I had a hard time choosing. I have 2 favorite hosts of the BET Awards. One is Jamie Foxx from 2009. Now, before the event happened, I had high expectations for Jamie Foxx because it was 2009. We have just had a black president. Jamie himself had a hit song, Blame It on the Alcohol, that was tearing up the charts. So I knew that his energy was going to be on point and he was going to be ready to party. And then June 25th happened and we lost Michael Jackson. And this caused chaos within the BET Awards because then they had to be under the pressure of revamping the whole show. They had to build the whole show again from scratch just to pay homage to Michael Jackson. And Jamie, I commend him. Even though the show was average at best, you have to give props to Jamie Foxx for coming in there and keeping the energy up and keeping the party alive. I remember he said something in the beginning of the awards to the effect of, when you're in New Orleans and somebody passes away, you don't get sad, you celebrate. And that's what we did that whole night. We celebrated Michael. So just for that, just for keeping that energy up, he is one of my favorite hosts. But my favorite host of all time is also my favorite comedian of all time. Chris Rock at the 2014 BET Awards is without a shadow of a doubt the greatest host of the BET Awards. This guy, he doesn't care. He came at everybody. T.I., Mike Tyson, Solange, all of them. They had no chance. He just came at everybody. And just because he's my favorite, I'm going to leave a video link under the description box so you can see his opening monologue. That was probably the greatest 8 minutes I have ever seen at the BET Awards. So, there you have it. Chris Rock is my favorite host of the BET Awards. And that brings us to this year's hosts, Tracy Ellis Ross and Anthony Anderson from the popular show Blackish. Now, as I said in the previous video, I like this decision. I'm excited to see what they have in store. I don't know if we'll say they were the greatest host in history, but it's all about that energy. If they can keep that energy up and keep the crowd interested in the show, they have done their job. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what these two have in store. So overall, I'm looking forward to this year's show. I know I said some things in the past about it, but it was mostly about the promotion. I felt they did a terrible job promoting this year's awards. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you listening to this is the first time you heard there was a BET Awards this Sunday. So I wasn't a fan of how they promoted it, but that in no way means that I'm not excited for this show. I believe as a show, it can still deliver. So I'm very excited to see it. I'm excited to review it, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it. And that will do it for this special edition of the Ballistic Report. Remember, you can follow me anytime on Twitter at IkeMoore2150, on Instagram under the Ballistic Report, and on Facebook under simply Ike Moore. If you have any comments about the BET Awards and what you want to see, leave them in the comment section below. And until Monday, I've been your talented host, Ike Moore, reminding you it's okay to be ballistic as long as it's done responsibly. Good night, everybody.